Up in the pirate radio battle has now been taken by the appearance of this ship, the 480-ton Panamanian-registered Olga Patricia, suitably renamed for her illegal existence in the North Sea as the Laissez-Faire. Another ship, bringing the grand total of offshore radio ships round the British coast to nearly a dozen. Most of these ships are concentrated in the south, but in the north too the numbers are rising, with Radio Caroline North and Radio Scotland. And there's Radio 270 off Scarborough. But it's in the south that the map really starts to get crowded. There's Radio London, Radio Tower, Radio Caroline. There's Radio Essex, Radio 390, Radio City. And, about to start shortly, Radio Channel. And that's not to mention the biggest and most ambitious of them all, swinging Radio England, broadcasting 24 hours of pop a day, and Radio Britain, 21 hours of light music a day, both from the same ship, the Laissez-Faire.
So Harwich recently has been the scene of some activity as the world's unseaworthy press has thronged here to make the short but rather uncomfortable North Sea voyage out to take a peep at the newest arrival. Their interest is largely born of the financial figures recently released by the pirates, the figures that form the basis of battle between them all. So far, advertisers have been paying the pirates at the rate of £2.5 million a year, and that's big money. Not without reason did The Economist describe the situation as the printing of money without a license.
In one important respect, these swinging Radio England and Radio Britain stations are different from all their rivals. They will transmit programs on a national basis with two 55-kilowatt transmitters. None of the other ships have national coverage, not even Radio London, the second biggest organisation, for her transmitter has only a 50-kilowatt output. Swinging Radio England is taking itself fairly seriously. It has a top London public relations firm working for it, and the venture is backed by a consortium of Britons, Canadians and Americans, mainly Texans. Among the disc jockeys, a mid-Atlantic accent is the order of the day. 8 of them share the job, getting switched on for 2 weeks on board and off for 1 week on shore. Their programme director is 23-year-old Mr. Ron O'Quinn.
Mr. O'Quinn, you strike me as very young to be a programme director. How did this come about?
Quite an odd thing, Michael. I was working in Miami at a radio station in Miami and was approached one Saturday afternoon by a gentleman I'd never met before who wishes to remain anonymous. In fact, I haven't seen him since, and asked me how would I like to come to England, which struck me as being quite funny because I was pretty happy in Miami with the weather, etc. And after explaining it to me about Radio England, it seemed quite a challenge, so here I am.
Why on earth do you want to go to sea?
I didn't really want to go to sea, but British government won't allow us ashore, so there we are again.
Why have you got 2 stations on board this ship?
We think there's a definite opening for a station of Britain Radio's caliber because of the fact that we aren't competing with really anybody, and the fact that we're playing music about 20 hours a day, continuous light music for the housewives and people who don't want to be bothered with a disc jockey on the air and having to listen to the disc jockey, etc. They've got background music provided for them.
What about the other station?
Radio England will provide definite competition for the existing offshore stations. The fact that we'll be on 24 hours a day, and we hope to have a completely different sound from what they have. We're going to stress personality all the way.
But it'll be pops, basically.
Pop, yes.
This is quite an enterprise. How much does it cost to set up this station?
In excess of £1 million.
Well, where does that sort of money come from?
From British, Canadian, and American investors.
You can't name any of them?
No, I certainly can.
Well, you probably know the Postmaster General, I don't think, takes a very kind view of pirate ships at the moment. What's your reaction to the fact that you might have only a year to live?
Well, actually, I think that it'll be about 18 months from, best I understand, before any action is really put before Parliament. And governments being governments, no matter whose government it is, they're known procrastinators and might take a little longer than 18 months. But if we have to move out, they probably will extend the limit to 12 miles, and with our power, we still won't be bothered too much.
Would you still be able to cover the entire country 12 miles out?
I wouldn't know about that. I'm not an engineer, but I hesitated to answer that because I don't think we would, but we'd still cover our definite area with London.
But from what you say, it seems that you're determined to stay one way or the other.
Yes, and we have an alternate plan. If England falls through, we have an alternate plan.
For another country?
Yes.
How worthwhile is it to you to defy possible government legislation to stop you being here?
I think, as you already know, the existing offshore stations have made quite a lot of money out of the offshore broadcasting. We already have in excess of £300,000 committed before going on the air. So we're here to make money. Of course, we'd like to make friends with it, but money is the real answer, and it's definitely here to be made.
But aren't you reliant on British shores for provisioning your ship?
Not really. We're relying on Holland. Our tenders are from England, but they pick up our supplies in Holland.
Uh-huh. Would you move to Holland if you were banned from our shores?
No, I don't think so. I'd be afraid really to answer that because I really don't know Plan B.
Pirates off other shores have been boarded before today by governments. Would you be prepared to repel boarders?
Certainly not. I'm not a fighter.